for myself. In that case, I'll trust you to decide on where we should go, ma'am. Okay, wir sollen wohl moven, aber ich habe gerade mein Handy ist gerade fertig mit Laden. Sorry wegen dem Gestöhne. Autschi, autschi. Mein Fuß ist eingeschlafen, was soll das? Oh. Ich hasse das, wenn meine Füße einschlafen, ne? So ekelhaft. Meine ganzen Knochen und alles. Ein bisschen überfordert von heute. Ich bin heute ein bisschen laufen gewesen. Was heißt ein bisschen? Ich war eine ganze fucking Stunde laufen. Danach habe ich gewusst, wenn ich mich jetzt hinhocken würde, würde ich mich mal aufstehen können. Alter, das war so heftig. So, wo gehen wir als erstes hin? Was haben wir denn hier überhaupt? Midorichu Park, South Marigesu und was ist das? Kumagata High School. Wir gehen dahin. Mein Fuß. Der ist gerade am Auftauen. South Marigesu Street. Das ist dieser komische Name da. The Hihaku Soap's headquarters are on the other side of South Marigesu Street. They were closed when I visited this morning, but it appears things are up and running now. First, I need to confirm whether Takumi is the man I ran into last night. Then I'll be able to determine if he's a curse bearer. It'll be better if I go inside the headquarters alone. You should walk around, visit the cafe for some tea, perhaps? Go inside the headquarters alone. To think a small soap-making company could grow so much in such a short time. They have factories and warehouses throughout the area now. You can see why director and now chairwoman Natsuo Yamamori is called the Queen. You mentioned that Takumi works as her secretary? That's correct. Do you think it's possible he's acting on her orders? That's exactly my thinking. A curse bearer with both money and power could certainly look at resurrection as their next prize. Negotiating with a person of that stature may prove difficult. I'm going to go in. I may be a while, so feel to find somewhere to kill time. Okay, good luck in there. Yeah, kill time, not people. Sorry to keep you waiting. How did it go? I fast forward to the conclusion I met with Takumi. There's no doubt he's the same man I saw last night, but it doesn't seem like he's a curse bearer. But that doesn't mean he has no connections to the recent curses. He knew about the 7 mysteries, he even guessed we have a curse stone of our own. Excuse me? I tried to approach Takumi about a fallen item after I ran into him last night, however. You said your name was Richter, correct? I have a favor I'd like to ask of you. I'm hoping you will hand over the curse stone in your possession. Curse stone? What are you on about? There's no need to play dumb with me. In fact, there's no time for it. I had all the same reason you did to think you were a curse bearer last night, and your arrival here only confirms that you are a curse bearer, no? You're right. We lack time. I confess I am a curse bearer. I possess the curse stone of the haunting clappers. I'm glad to hear the truth. Finally, this conversation is worthwhile. It is a dangerous item you hold. Give it to me. My company will take the responsibility to dispose of it. I didn't know the soap business specialized in scrubbing curses clean. It is the prerogative of Mrs. Yamamori. Is that so? Assuming you've obtained the curse, you understand the power it involves, no? Mrs. Yamamori possesses supernatural powers akin to those of a god. She also has a deep love for this land, having transformed it from the pile of dirt it once was to the home of our headquarters. She cannot stomach the fact that it's now the site of these curses run rampant. So you're telling me the queen of Hihaku is a real-life witch? We shouldn't appreciate being called that, mind you. There's a sorcerer by the name of Suigen Gamiyodo who's gallantly working behind the scenes exorcising spirits and the like. Go on. That being so, there have already been instances of the death coming back to life. Do you understand the urgency of this matter? These are curses we're speaking of, tools which are used by wicked beings to possess people. The rite of resurrection is nothing but a fabrication meant to seduce the curse bearers into unspeakable actions. If you truly understand what I'm talking about, you must hand over that curse stone at once. Very interesting. With that said, just how many curse stones have you acquired so far? If what you tell me is true, surely the company would have launched a large-scale search by now. We have 6. 6? Wow! I can rest at ease then. And here I thought I was at risk of being cursed. It seems we are on the same page. If that is the case, you should hand over your curse stone immediately. I'm sorry to disappoint you, but it's not actually in my possession at this moment. Considering its importance, I've been keeping it in hiding. Really now? Then I'll accompany you while you retrieve it? I'm sorry, but I've got something important to attend to, but I promise I'll return with it later. Very well. Then you won't refuse to provide your address and telephone number, I presume? How prudent of you. I'll oblige. And that's how it went. So they aren't after the ride after all? I wouldn't be so quick to trust him. Oh? I believe we're dealing with a master in deception. He may well have made up a story to convince us to part ways with our stone. I think he was lying about having procured 6 curse stones as well. Like, really? 6? That's excessive. Well, now I feel gullible. The company is plotting something. I wonder what they mean to do with the curse stones. He seemed rather desperate to get a hold of ours, despite us not having collected any soul tracks. Perhaps the people at Hihaku are the masterminds behind the curse being unleashed. Because the chairwoman's a witch? I wonder about that too. If she really were that powerful, would her secretary have divulged that information so casually? Takumi was either making it up as he went or he's trying to spread a rumor. For what purpose would he do that? Recently, people have been caught up about the cult more than ever before. If word spread that Hihaku's chairwoman has godlike powers, she could very well benefit socially and politically from that mystic. That's unsettling. Ich muss mal was trinken. We should avoid Hihaku for the time being. Be pained if I have to deal with Takumi again. By the way, there's one more thing of interest I heard while in the company's reception lobby. And what's that? People were discussing whether one of the bodies found this morning was that of Hihaku employee. Really? So long as the officials haven't revealed the identity, it all amounts to no more than speculation though. Despite that, I've reason to believe Hihaku Souls is deeply involved with the 7 mysteries. At the very least, I can assure you, I've gathered that much. The more we know, the better our negotiations will go. In the meantime, we should be off somewhere else. There's no reason to stick around here any longer. Dann gehen wir mal weiter. Wo gehen wir jetzt hin? Ich glaube, wir gehen erstmal zu dem Park, würde ich sagen. We're here. This is Midoriko Park. Ayame Tono lives around here. She wasn't in her apartment when I dropped by this morning. I wonder if it's worth checking again. This place is connected with the story of the Taiko of Tsugaru. Not only that, Katsushika Hokusai's home was also in the area. That might be why Yame chose to live here. Da ist auch nichts mehr. Okay, dann talken wir mal. We won't get much done standing around here. Why don't I go and check out Ayame's apartment? You don't mean to speak with her, do you? No, I'd prefer to get an idea of what she's been up to. I'd like to see whether she's been home or not, just to potentially get a trace on her movements. Then be my guest. Okay, I shouldn't be long. I'm back, ma'am. So, nothing? I'm afraid so. She still hasn't returned. However, I noticed a few people who seem to be related to the police force keeping watch in the area. I don't know if they got eyes on her apartment, but they do appear to be watching the building it's in. Interesting. You've got a sharp eye to have noticed them despite them being so covered. What can I say? It's part of the job. However, it meant I had to refrain from knocking on her door or looking through her windows. I wasn't able to check her electric meter or mailbox either, unfortunately. You were planning to go that far? We won't make much progress sticking around here. Okay. Dann werden wir wohl weitergehen. Dann bleibt ja nicht mehr viel übrig. Wir werden wahrscheinlich nicht... Werden wir nochmal zurückgehen? Nö. Here we are at Ground Zero, Komagata High School. I guess it's logical that the police just got this place shut down. The teacher's body was found here after all. It's as if the students have nowhere to go now that the school's closed. The news has attracted a bunch of curious onlookers, huh? That works in our favor. The more people around, the better we can blend in. It seems the officers are still inspecting the scene. Entry has been strictly prohibited. Ist da irgendwo was wir angucken können? Ist da irgendwo ein... Ach, das wollte ich gar nicht. Okay, scheinen wir nichts anderes machen zu können. The place is said to be connected with the story of the fool's possession. I wouldn't be surprised if a curse bearer decided to turn up. However, I need to find out if that teacher was a curse bearer or not. I expect the police to be baffled since they don't know about the curses. I can ask around and see what the students have to say. Inquire. Alright, I go ask the students about Michio. I'm back, ma'am. So, what did you learn? That school kids sure love a good rumor. I was practically drowning in stories about Mr. Tonucci and Michio, most of which seemed dubious at best. Not surprising. Most of what I heard was hardly worth a second thought, but there was one story that caught my attention. Oh. Some believe that Michio is the one who killed Mr. Jonoji. Really? The story's got 2 pieces of evidence to back it up. One of them wasn't news to me. Apparently he's been mumbling that Michio was going to kill him for some days now. A fellow teacher overheard his mumbling and told the students. And then it spread like wildfire, I suppose. Rumors that juicy don't stay a secret for long. As for the other piece of evidence, a pigtailed girl in her school uniform was seen around school last night. Go on. Although numerous people claim to have seen the girl, not one of them saw her face. Some are proposing it was Michio brought back to life, or that it was her vengeful spirit. But it's not like Michio's the only high school girl to wear pigtails. This rumor might have been made up just to fan the flames. But if it were true, I'd want to get a hold of her in order to hear her side of the kidnapping. If she's alive, that'd be ideal. There's still one more thing I should mention. I discovered where Michio lived. A student had a list of student addresses on hand. That's an amazing find. I believe all of the students actually have a copy of that list. It truly worries me how easy it was to obtain what should be conventionally information. Imagine what would happen if that information got into the wrong hands. Well, so far it hasn't, no? Sure, let's hope it stays that way. In the meantime, it's now possible for us to visit Michio Shiraishi's house. So, Auchi. Dann werden wir wohl wahrscheinlich jetzt zu dem Haus gehen, würde ich sagen. Hier wird es wahrscheinlich wieder nichts geben.